All right, hello everyone, and welcome to CineQuest video. Today we're going to be talking about the new advertised as horror film by Steven Soderbergh, Presence.
Straight up thrill ride.
All right, Bryce. We these reviews we're trying to make them like as informal as possible. So
Yeah.
I saw Presence. It was kind of an anticipated film because the trailer looks cool. It's
Mhm.
advertised as a horror film, almost like from quotes, the scariest film you'll see like this year, and it's like just January and shit.
What did they say? I don't know. I'm trying to remember the exact
I could be
quotations.
wrong, but like someone has the audacity to say something like that with the first movie they see for 2025.
It was the one I kept hearing was turns the horror genre on its head. And
Yeah.
it was like, yeah. Oh, all right.
But I don't know. Are you familiar with Steven Soderbergh's work? I don't think I've seen very many of his films. I just realized that he's the one that does like Ocean's 11 and all that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Ocean's 12. I've never seen any of
Hmm.
those. It's
Interesting.
not my type of movie.
Maybe this was all a big heist. It really wasn't a ghost.
Our heist of our money, right? To go watch this
Yeah.
movie. I saw it in the morning. There wasn't anybody in the theater on its initial opening day, the
Yeah.
Friday. You said you went to go watch it, and there were people.
Sunday night, man. 9:05, and yeah, there was went to actually go see it with my mother, and took her to go see it, and there was only like two seats like together, and they were like in the like the not the front row, but like the one that separates the partition of, or if you want to call it that, like the aisle that separates like the
Right.
front row if you want, and then yeah, next to the handicap seat, which honestly wasn't a bad place to see it, but yeah, it was. I was surprised. Now I don't know how big your theater was. It was a small theater. I felt like
Mine was the XD theater. So like it's the I guess the bigger theater.
XD.
Yeah. The XD theater in the Cinemark.
What the? Are you serious? Dude, when I went to see it, they did not have any XD, man. It was like they must have kicked it out real quick or something. Because you saw it on when on opening day or the day after opening.
Friday morning, the official opening day. Obviously, there were showings on the Thursday before, but I saw it first showing Friday morning, opening day.
An XD, wow. So like their IMAX essentially.
Yeah, I
What
mean
was it like experiencing it on that? Did you enjoy it on that big screen?
well, I mean, I don't know how much bigger the screen actually is. It's more for the sound quality and like visually, I guess
Are
colors
you
and
talking
stuff
about
like that.
the Dolby or
Or just
the
XD. I don't know. Just 'cause I
oh
mean,
no? Because I
like I mean, watching the film, there's a lot of like shaking kind of.
well, I thought
There's not a
I
lot, but I
because
mean, there's
I
some.
I thought the XD was like you said, like their IMAX, like it's like a big. Because I remember I saw the I think I saw the first Deadpool movie on XD, and it was a pretty big screen, like from
I
what I
mean, it's a
remember.
big
But
screen, but I mean, if you're comparing it to like Cinemark's IMAX, they're severely lacking in the size of the
oh, okay.
actual screen. It's more for
Well,
like
that's well, either way, that's
like visually
interesting.
with the colors and the sound quality. That's kind of what XD is. I mean,
I
whatever.
was really surprised that they had D box available for this movie. It's like you're gonna
Or
be sitting still for quite a long time in this
well,
movie
I
if
mean,
that's
like
the
at some point,
case.
like you're gonna
That's
think it's like there's no movement whatsoever, and then as you're eating
that's
your
what I'm
popcorn, you're
saying.
like,
It's like, yeah, you got gypped on this D box. You're just there like, is mine working? But
well,
it's not that kind of movie though. It's like
but
I don't know. It's just
but the
weird.
thing is, there are moments that I guess could a
Yes.
D box could be useful, but I mean, like realistically, you're just gonna get a few shakes here and there, and you're gonna pay $20 for a ticket just
Well,
to
see,
sit on a chair.
I've never been in a D box, so I don't know. Like now, I'm sure there's gonna be a big difference of going seeing like a Michael Bay movie in a D
Yeah,
box
for
and
sure. Yeah,
seeing this movie.
yeah.
But yeah,
Well, I mean, just quick backstory. I went to go see Matrix, the last Matrix Revelations, whatever the fuck it's called,
hmm
in D box. So like every other scene was just me like shaking and going this way and that way, and like my popcorn was all like over the place and stuff. It's
yeah,
kind of
shaking,
personally it's
swaying, having a jack put in the back of your head.
It's a
You're like,
novelty that I
"Mm."
don't care for, so but I
Oh,
mean,
okay. Yeah,
I
I
imagine
mean,
some people do, but it's
you didn't feel like you were in the Matrix? You didn't feel like you were the one
no, I
on
didn't
the
at all,
D-Box thing?
no. Not in that ver not that, portion of the franchise. No, no, no.
They have a screen come down, and it's like, the
The
numbers
colors,
are, like,
yeah.
in your eye.
You're like, "Is this the movie?" And they're like,
Yeah,
"Yes, it is." It's just
yeah.
anyways, presents, Bryce. Um, I'm gonna say that I was
I was barely present for this movie. Nah, I'm j
again, total honesty in your opinion. I liked it, but it's not what I was expecting at all. But
yeah.
I wouldn't say that this is a movie that is worthy of a theater experience. I don't think. I mean, I think this is like a I don't know, man. Like they put movies in January that are kind of like just I feel like they're just gonna be forgotten or something. But I mean,
Mm.
the way this film is being touted as like you said, turns the horror genre on its head because I mean it's not entirely horror. It's more just like a perspective film drama, you know.
Yeah, it's like, this reminds me of an is this A24? It's A24, right? Or no? Is this Neon?
Mm, I don't know.
Damn, I don't know now. Yeah, well, anyways, this reminds me of an A24 movie. It was called Ghost Story. Did you ever see that one?
I never saw that one, no.
It's like, I guess if you wanna call it horror in the sense that it's, like, paranormal or, like, it's got a ghost in it,
Ghost
but
in
it's,
it,
like,
yeah.
literally a guy walking around with a sheet, like a typical Halloween ghost sheet on, and it's just, like, living like, he's, like, going through, like, his memories or, like, basically, like, traveling life as a ghost, like, obviously, the camera, the perspective is not the ghost, but it's kinda remind me of it's more of a drama with just maybe some spooky elements to it, so that was what was kinda interesting, like, I don't know what the idea with the marketing campaign was. I just think they really wanted to get that to me is so fucking sleazy. It's like, "We're gonna get people in the seats, and we're just gonna tell them it's this." And I wonder what the director thought about that. It's like, that's not maybe that's is that the kind of movie he was wanting to make? Like, or, like, that the what he thought he was making? Like, I don't know, I just felt like that was, like, a marketing team was like, "We're gonna get people in the seats with saying how scary it is." And
Well, I
I don't
mean,
know.
like I told you before, Bryce, horror drives people to the theaters. You know, horror is a big money maker, regardless of how good it actually is. So I guess with the trailer and the marketing, I mean, I was intrigued to go watch a movie like this, considering that it had
No, as was I,
more
yeah.
horror elements. You know, but it had more. It was more of a dramatic movie. Not to say a bad one, but considering we're only limited to the perspective of the entity, the spirit, the thing, the camera man. There's a lot of elements to the story that get introduced and kind of are hinted at, and elements that go beyond the actual fact that we can only go see so far as what this family is going through or what this family is involved in. That
Yeah.
it left me wanting to know more about why exactly things are said in the movie or the relationships between the mother and the son or
Yeah, there's
like
some big
what
questions left unanswered.
more so even more so the trauma that the daughter has experienced and of course the relationship between the mother and the father. um there is an element of where there's a like a medium that comes in, and I thought that this is where the turn was gonna be, like, a medium kinda is gonna aggravate the spirit, and then, like,
Mhm.
some kind of poltergeist thing ensues, which kind of
Yeah,
happened a little bit, but, there were hints from the medium about time and how time doesn't play the same way with these things or whatever's
yeah,
in the house as human beings, so it's all very vague. And I think it's left up to us, the people following this, the perspective, uh, to determine what exactly is going on in this story. Because there's a twist ending, uh, but that left me with questions as to what we were dealing with most of the movie. You know,
mhm.
um, but yeah, what did you
Yeah,
think about
I
that?
think there was some story that wasn't necessarily fleshed out,
Hmm.
and I mean, now maybe upon second watching, I'll figure out the answer to this, but I do also feel like there was some like plot holes in a way. Like I don't know. Of course, they don't ever explicitly
But
say like
that's where
where
you
they
can get
moved
it
to.
with the perspective of the I guess again the ghost, the spirit, the entity. Like
Yeah, I
we
guess it's
you can leave those plot
interesting.
holes because they don't necessarily can be explained because we're not like we're not the overseer of everything. We only see one version
Yeah.
of what's going on. So again, like we said about the you said about the plot holes and all that, like is that lazy writing or is it just like this very artistic version of filmmaking now? Kind of
Mm,
like the way we had with In a Violent Nature, we had one perspective from
mhm.
the serial killer and we just see him walking and we have long shots like that too where the
Yeah.
thing is just staring out at the window, staring at
Mhm.
his staring at the family. Um so I don't know. Like
Mhm.
what do you think Soderbergh was thinking when he made this movie?
I read a little article or interview with him about how he I think it was in the Fangoria, most recent Fangoria issue. He talked about how he's like a big fan of simplicity and he had never thought about it before. It's like, well, this is like a very like it's a unique way of filming a movie and it's easy to execute. If you think about it, you don't need a lot of you could probably I mean you essentially could do it with just one camera. You wouldn't need to
From my
cut and do all
understanding,
that.
I found it more interesting the cinematography of the film because
Mm,
I was watching a video that kind of went through what exactly he had interviewed some of the cast members and basically he had one I think Soderbergh had one Sony camera and I think he had one like a wide angle lens or something. And
mm,
basically they lit the house with like soft lights around so like they're not really like a huge box of lights that are lighting everything. So it's all
yeah.
kind of natural and it's within the actual it gives it more of a realistic look. And he had like I think he was like on a gimbal too, and he's just like walking around kind of doing this whole thing, which I think is cool. That's a
Uh
nice way to like this really
yeah.
cool, interesting way. The way the I think it's more interesting the way the movie's made as opposed to the the movie itself.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I see what you mean. I guess that gimbal would make sense because he's trying to have like an ethereal floating. But like, see, I kind of wish that he had done more interesting camera angles with it. I mean, this is a ghost. It's not tethered to. I guess the most interesting one would probably be at the end. But I mean, I won't say what
it's not
happens
tethered to
necessarily.
space
But
and time,
yeah,
so
exactly. Like it's yes, exactly. Especially with the lady. Now I don't know how you would. I'm not a cinematographer. I'm not a director. I wouldn't know how you would do this, but especially since the medium was talking about how it's not. Yeah, like it's not tethered to time. Maybe do something a little different with that because it was just. It seemed like it was too linear, too like linear and too visceral. Like it's like a like almost like a entity, like a living entity, or if you want to call it or whatever. Like it's got to like be constantly like this is the vision. I don't know how to explain it. It's just I would have been cool to see some different angles with it.
mhm.
I kind of wish that the supernatural or like the haunting, if you will, kind of built up a little bit. Like I don't, I just feel like there wasn't enough like little things happening. Like it just like came out real quick. Like
Yeah.
the whole room shaking, and that's when they're like, "Oh shit, there's a ghost here." Like I kind of wish he had built up a little bit more and creeped out with
Mhm.
like I don't know. I guess it is kind of a short movie too, right? It wasn't that long.
I believe it's
Or
like 80 some minutes or something.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like an
Yeah.
hour
That's a
20.
short, that's a pretty short movie.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, man. I just, then when the medium came in, like you said, like I kind of wish that they had done like maybe gone all out with something or really done something more with the ghosts. Um, there's just a few scenes where we kind of see it like doing the shaking thing and like, or it moves stuff or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, but I just, I know it sounds stupid and people are like, oh, it's, you just want like effects or whatever. I would have liked to see a little bit more haunting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
me
I feel
too.
like it
Me
was
too.
just
Yeah.
like I feel like the whole, which I guess that's kind of what like people would say that that's what ghosts or mostly do, but it's just like I feel like all it really did was observe,
Yeah.
and I don't know. Again, it is the camera, so I guess that makes sense. But
Yeah, it was like even before the actual ending. I mean, there was a climax that happened in the film, and again, there were clues given from like the medium and stuff like that. Where I think I already saw kind of where the ending was going. I was hoping it wasn't that obvious, considering but I didn't. again, but that left me with questions as to like the rest of the film. I mean, I kind of saw the ending coming, but
Well,
uh,
there were not so subtle hints, like, too, in the
right, right,
dialogue with
right,
some
right. But
stuff the
that's what I'm
dad would
saying is
say, and I was like,
yeah, the
yeah.
dad again, the medium, and then the mom with kind of the son and the mom relationship. Where I'm glad you brought it up because I had like kind of questions like whenever they were talking to each other, I was like, are we gonna
Yeah,
find
it
out there's some
was
kind of weird
pretty
mom and
weird.
son
I was kinda
relationship?
hoping,
You know?
and that would've been interesting too if they had, again, the ghost is seeing things that other people can, or,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
getting in on these secrets, and it does get some secrets, but they never really, like, revealed what it is.
Hmm.
Like, now they coulda gone full out with that and been like, "Okay." But, I mean, maybe subtlety is the name of the game here, I don't know, like, but, yeah, that was weird. I was like, "What is going on with the mom and the with Lucy Liu?" And I don't know, but speaking of the ending, I will say, to me, that was probably, I enjoyed that last part. I felt like that, to me, was the creepiest part of the whole movie. I don't know why, especially with, I don't want to reveal it, but just the way it was shot, and again, it was like if this was an A24 movie, like the I know they back, well, at least back in their old movies with, like, familial drama, they really like to do that, screams of despair and everything,
Yeah.
and they really kind of make you feel awkward. Like, I kind of felt like that at the end a little bit,
Yeah.
and I thought that was a good part of it. But I guess I kind of wanted more things like that.
Hmm.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's
It
not a
seemed.
bad movie. It's just I don't. It's an interesting take. And I'd like to see more done that way.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think it's a good foray into a new style. I guess you know what I
Hmm.
mean. I
But
don't know, in my opinion.
that's where I mean, I guess the idea needs to be thought out a little bit more, because, like we said, there's a lot of things introduced that we don't get much of because we're limited to the perspective.
Yeah,
But how would they make it more interesting? How would they make
yeah.
it?
See, I don't know.
How would they bring about other aspects? I mean, they could, I guess. I think personally, the only way to do something like this is to have like a hybrid type of movie, so where you see like the perspective of the
That's
ghost or the
true.
spirit, and then we have to get into the opposite side of it to where we're like is it the is it the third person or something like that? Like where we as the audience are overseeing like the actual narrative of the story and stuff like that.
Yeah. I guess
But
I see what you're saying, yeah.
I I'm a little like torn on this film because I do like the kind of I don't know how new it is necessarily, but I like Soderbergh's take on what would be a haunting story or a haunted house story.
It's a good first person stir of echoes.
Yeah. You said that.
I mean, it's a little bit like stir of echoes, I
Yeah.
guess. Not entirely, but, because obviously the daughter has some,
Trauma.
connection to the void, if you will. I don't know if I
Yeah.
call it that, but, the other side, I don't know, it's kinda hinted at she's got some clairvoyance or whatever,
But
or maybe
so
not
that
clairvoyance,
was that was
but,
another thing that I wish they had explored more, like
yeah.
because like I felt like she probably could have had more of a connection. But again, maybe it's supposed to be more of a realistic take on a haunting because I mean, granted, I'm using this loosely, like real hauntings. I'm using this term like phrase like very loosely. Real hauntings don't have like genuine connections. I mean, like if you're talking basis on the basis of like these ghost hunter, ghost adventures type of takes on like hauntings and how they interact with them, nothing really happens. Like it's mostly just like noise. You might see something, but I've never seen like a genuine actual conversation connection that people have other than just hearsay. Someone comes in,
Yeah,
says they see this, they heard this, this is communicated to them. I mean, but no one else can see it, unless
yeah.
like I don't know. It's I don't know how well you
But
can
but
explore that.
Well, see, but that's kind of funny you're saying that, like, there's no, connection to the, investigators or whatever, but there is a connection in this movie, and there's no investigators, obviously, but, like, there is a connection to the daughter, which that has gives me a lot of, questions as to, like, why is the entity in that house? And if the entity is in the house for a certain reason, why in the hell would you have your daughter move in there if you know what I mean? Like, see, that's those are the kind of questions I'm like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like, why
Well,
was
yeah,
that particular ghost there
right,
unless it was
that was the a thing that the medium said, that the ghost or the entity was confused. They didn't really know why
oh,
they were there or what their purpose was. They knew they had to do something, but they weren't exactly sure what. I mean, I think they're aware, but they're not aware of who they are or the purpose. You know, so they're kind of
mm,
just floating around, watching things.
well, because yeah, the medium said that, but the daughter um kind of alluded to who she knew the ghost was, or she could
But
feel who it
but
was.
was she correct though?
I don't know,
You have
but
to
it's
watch the
like
movie
it
to find out.
seems. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just, yeah, I think it would have been kind of cool if they did a little bit, like again, going back to the medium, like you're saying, it'd be kind of cool if they did a little bit more, like with her. Maybe like have like some Zach Bagans type character come in and
Yeah.
they can really fuck with him or something. I don't know.
Yeah, someone is gonna,
But
like, intimidate the ghost or
you could just
something.
feel you know what I mean? Have Zach Bagans come in and you could feel like the ghost do like an eye roll kind of motion like that with the camera. Like, it's,
They go like,
I don't know.
"We smell Axe body spray."
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ghost
Uh,
just getting exacerbated with the fucking, oh god, this
uh,
douche. Like, I don't know, but
like,
I still say
this
this,
man reeks of
man.
Axe body spray and LA
Yeah,
Gear gel, hair gel or
yeah,
something.
yeah. Yeah, Gorilla Snot or whatever the name of that, like, the real cheap stuff is.
Yeah.
Um, I say this, I still, in my opinion, and it's before my time, but I feel like still one of the best ghost story haunted house movies of all time is The Changeling.
Yeah. Mhm.
And that was also very simplistic. You know,
Yeah.
they didn't really show a ghost. Like they had a little like few prop things going on. One of the best scenes, in my opinion, for like the changeling is when they bring the medium in and she does the whole like auto writing and she's like doing that very effective. Um, so it would have been kind of cool if they did something like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I'm not a fucking director. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean,
I'm getting
like,
heated here, but
we as the
I don't
audience.
like criticizing movies unfairly. It's just I don't know. Something about it, it was a good movie. I liked it, but it wasn't what I was hoping for.
Right, I mean,
I don't know.
just to go over, positives of this movie, I think it's shot well. I think it's a unique, way of
Oh
shooting
yeah, most
something.
definitely. And I like that.
I like
Um,
the technical aspect of the film style, as far as, like, the
yeah.
equipment used and stuff like that. Now, you don't know that watching the film, but, just watching a video on, like, I guess, a making of, I found that interesting. But as far as the story, it's very simple.
Oh, you saw a making of? There was
Well,
a
that's what I told you about this guy who, was talking about the camera that was used, and he spoke
oh.
to the cast members and how, I guess, how he was shooting the film. You know, I guess they just said it was like a gimbal, a lens, and a camera, and kind of just moving around, doing this whole thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's obviously more to that, but I don't know much about Soderbergh's style of filming, because I mean, I don't know if you saw a trailer, this new movie that he's doing with Michael Fassbender, where they're like a I guess private, they're like assassins or something, and they're married. Almost thinking like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith kind of thing, but it's a
What's it
Soderbergh
called? Do
one.
you know?
I don't remember what it was called, but like
Okay.
it's more of a traditional type of film. It's not like any. There's no sort of a experimental type of cinematography or filmmaking, as opposed to this one, which yeah. I appreciate those things. I thought it was acted well. Um,
Mhm. Oh yeah, no, yeah, the acting was
I
good.
thought
Yeah,
Lucy
for sure.
Liu, I don't know the dad's name, but the dad, the daughter, the son, who was a fucking jerk the whole time. Like, I think they
Mm,
all played their parts very well. Even like the boyfriend was also a total total douche, man.
yeah. Oh
All done
yeah.
very well. All played like their respective roles, and I mean, I believe the trauma of the daughter, you know, and what she was going through. Um, and that ending scene with Lucy Liu, you know, like, it kind of reminded me of Tony Collette. in the Hereditary, like all those very dramatic
Yeah,
moments.
that's
That
what I'm
and
saying.
mind
Like
you,
it's this.
when he gave her like that one very dramatic moment, but Lucy
Yeah.
Liu is very stern, like strong uh figure in the family where what she says goes, which you can tell like
Mhm.
the dad's kind of like a pushover and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like
Well, that's
you
what he
see her
tells the
like
daughter that
broken,
he's like, "Oh, she makes all the
makes all decisions,
decisions,"
yeah. And I
yeah,
mean, she breaks, and I think she does a good job whenever that does happen.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, man. I mean, that's those are the simple positives of the movie. Again, there's not much going on in the film. There aren't. It's not much of a spectacle. It's a movie you got to kind of sit there and kind of like watch and pay attention and stuff like that. It's a very slow burn type of movie, but we're
Uh,
just going from one perspective and watching the interaction of this family and I guess how they're unraveling.
yeah.
The relationships are kind of unraveling and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, But yeah, and again, I guess the negatives would be, I guess the story and how it like unfolds and leaving us with like a lot more questions, having to do with more of the internal relationships with the family that
Would you
I wish I got some kind of answer to, but because they seemed a little bit more interesting. Again, relationships with the son and the mom, and like the relationship with the mom and the dad. I don't
Yeah.
know,
But,
like
I guess they're not really integral to the main point of the
plot point of the movie.
movie.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I think I still think what was going on with the mom, I don't know how or why, but it seemed to me like that sorta tied in what was going on. I don't know. I don't know what could have possibly been, but we don't know what the mom does for a living, or we don't know what the dad does for a living. There's just a lot of, like, talking between on the phone about legal issues, so I don't know. And then what the mom says to the son about like, what is it? If you make mistakes, I'm just telling you it's okay to make mistakes if it's for the right reasons. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I
what?
was just like,
I'm like,
is she a crime
dude,
boss or
I don't
something?
know, man. I
Yeah,
don't know, man. I was
I don't
just
know,
like,
I don't know.
um,
But, like, I guess this follows into the footsteps of, experimental films that have been coming out
yeah,
lately, and I
that's what I was gonna
appreciate that.
say.
I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah, me
Um
too. I like that people are going and taking risks. Just you had mentioned in a violent nature. It's cool to see certain playing with perspective.
mhm,
I just think with those, like, it's hard to make an entirely cohesive movie. If it's like you said, like maybe a hybrid of some kind, because
mhm.
even within a violent nature, which I did like a lot, it did suffer from a lot of, you know, monotonous parts, which is like, I know it's kind of the point, I guess,
Well,
but
but, like, in that film, they kind of pulled a little bit of hybrid shit too sometimes because they
oh yeah, I guess that's true.
camera
Yeah, it
moved in
wasn't
certain angles
always.
and stuff like that because
Yeah.
if we were just following the slasher, we would have gotten one view of the kills, but, like, even with that one mega kill that everyone talked about in that movie, that girl near the cliff, like, the camera pulls off to the front, to the side, and kinda does, like, other movements, and then we just follow the killer again. So,
Hmm.
you obviously can break um, that rule that people are or the filmmakers are putting on themselves when it comes to the perspective of the camera, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're not limited for them, they weren't limited to just following the killer.
Yeah.
Eventually, we got different perspective, and I feel like this movie could have used a few moments where we kind of like got out of that perspective and stuff like that. But because I mean, there's a bunch of jump cuts, where like goes to kind of like black quickly and then jumps to the next scene. So I'm like, did
Hmm.
the ghost like fall asleep? Is there a time jump because of like the does this entity fall asleep? you know, because there was just jumping into different scenarios with the family. So I don't know.
Yeah, it was interesting how it would keep going to the back to the closet. I
Yeah,
don't know what that
yeah.
was
I
about.
was
It
like, was
was
it
like,
sleeping in the closet?
I don't know. It was almost a little adorable too. Like it would just kind of be
Yeah, I thought it's like,
it would just kind of like nuzzle in the closet.
yeah, I was like,
And
does
this,
it have like a
wow, there's
blanket
like
or
one
something?
scene too where it's like funny because you know what was happening, but it's
Yeah,
just kind of like when the things like
yeah,
swinging.
yeah.
If
It just
you see like the little curtains like swinging like
yeah,
that, or not curtain, but the clothes hanger,
yeah,
and it's just like I just imagine the ghost is like, oh.
yeah. Like the ghost is feeling awkward. Like
Yeah, it's like, "I
maybe
don't have
I need to
eyelids,
get out
I
of
can't
here.
close my eyes."
Yeah. But if I close my eyes, I might end up somewhere else. I don't know because
Yeah, well, that's
the
true.
entity doesn't know exactly what it's doing or
Yeah.
where it's supposed to be. But So, just overall, Bryce, would you recommend going to the theater to watch this movie?
Mm, I recommend seeing the movie. I don't think it's necessary to see it in theaters personally.
Yeah,
That's
I
just my
agree with you.
opinion.
Yeah.
I wanted to go see it. You know, it was a lot of hype. I feel like there's a lot of hype around this movie, and I thought it was an interesting concept. So I did want to go see it in theater. Now that being said, what if I had known what I know now? I probably wouldn't go see it. I'd probably just wait to come streaming or or rent it or something like that.
Yeah, same here.
At my
Uh,
local Blockbuster.
but I think it would does benefit from having a certain mood, like you like make sure like lights are off and you're watching it because like I think you need to like
Oh
focus
yeah, for
specifically
sure.
on the film.
Yeah.
If you're on your phone or something like that, like the movie's gonna lose like in seconds it's gonna lose all um I guess meaning or like whatever if you're
Mhm.
not paying attention because you're gonna be like, well, what is this and why is like if you take your eyes off for a little bit, like you could like kind of lose what's going on or just kind
Yeah.
of lose interest. But yeah, I do agree with you, Bryce. You should probably. I think I would have waited for streaming,
Mm.
but I mean, I don't regret watching it in the movie. Again, I like
No, neither do
these
I mean,
experimental type of films. Um, I mean, we have Skinamarink, we have what
yeah.
else? In a
I
Violent
saw
Nature.
Skinner
Yeah, we
Rink in
saw Skinamarink in
theaters. That was
theaters too.
interesting. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I appreciate directors really like taking a chance, even if they're seasoned veterans and they want to do something different. Appreciate that as well. Because I mean,
Yeah.
I assume Steven Soderbergh can do pretty much whatever he wanted, and that is like one of those cases. He does have like a bunch of like uh successful films under his belt. So
Would
I
you
mean,
consider this to be
I
more
think
of
it's
a
just as much as a risk to take with a well known veteran director as opposed to a new director who's just going in and just coming out swinging for the fences. So I mean,
yeah.
I
Well,
appreciate
do
them.
you
I
consider this
appreciate them all. Let me just say that.
yeah. Do you consider this to be like I know you said it's sort of like a family drama, but I think to me it's more of a murder mystery in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I would say it does toe that line a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it does. It's all of those. It's a family drama.
Yeah.
It's almost a murder mystery, and it's also a haunting movie. So like it's all these
Yeah.
genres combined. But
Yeah.
whether or
That's
not it's
true.
something that people would want to see or they'll be happy that they saw it, I wouldn't recommend this movie to like we said before. Uh, I guess folks who are more inclined to watch like a Blumhouse jump scare type of film. The
Maybe
popcorn
they should
slasher kind of films. Like I don't recommend people go watch something like this because it's a slow burn, and you may say like nothing happens because I guess on the surface it really doesn't. But I don't know. I like I like when I like directors that take these chances and like these very much quote unquote artistic type of films. Um, yeah, I don't know.
yeah. Go see the Conjuring POV movie.
Yeah, right. It's just like
Actually, did you see that have you seen the thing with Insidious? That they're doing like this whole cinematic experience with Insidious?
no, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's like it's not just the movie. There's like stuff going on. I don't know. Like I was like, I don't know if they're gonna have it down here or not, but I
They're
think
gonna
it's
have
like in
the
certain
demon like
select theaters. It's
running
like
around and shit.
what was like people like cosplaying. People are like dressed up like the red demon guy and all that. And that was Insidious, right?
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
demon face. Yeah. So I don't
You
know
see,
that.
like I really like Insidious 1 and 2 a lot.
I liked Insidious
I don't
one.
like
Yeah, Insidious
really
one was
care
pretty
for
good.
3 and 4.
Mhm.
Just as like I like The Conjuring. Conjuring 2, I rewatched it not too long ago, and I was like, this is silly. This is silly. Just as much as
Is
I
it
know as and it pains me to say this because like as when I was younger, I was a huge fan of like Ed and Lorraine
is it like the
Warren.
Warrens?
I like the Warrens a lot because they would I
You
remember
know the
listening
church.
to them on like Coast to Coast and
Uh,
following their little documentaries. Like I'm pretty sure they had like a segment on unsolved mysteries or some shit during the ghost segments or whatever.
mm,
Um, and I was just always like, wow, they're really like genuine investigators of the paranormal, man.
yeah,
You know, and I
yeah,
mean, as you get older, I'm just like I mean, I'll admit when I'm wrong, or I'll admit that I've been duped, you know? And that's the way I
uh-huh,
feel about like the Warrens and stuff, especially as they've kind of like over romanticized their relationship. And like I hated The Conjuring 3, like, so much. I hated it so much. I like the actors, but I just feel like they're making them seem to be like the best lovers that were, like, involved in the supernatural. I'm like, "Just fucking stop, please.
Yeah.
Stop." And I'm pretty sure I have
The
episodes where you can go back and, like, I still literally saying the same thing, like, about those movies
regular
and stuff.
Bonnie and Clyde of ghost hunting.
Yeah. Yeah, come on, give me a break. But yeah, so we do appreciate you watching this episode. If you stayed all the way to the end, please leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about any of these films, or this film in particular. I feel like we talked about like a little bit of the other horror franchise, but like,
Oh yeah, we did for sure.
let us know what you thought about this movie. Steven Soderbergh, did he do a good job in this one? Did he miss the mark entirely? We haven't we're not doing like ratings like we were before, but like I mean, I think you can kind of gather where we would fall in line if we're not saying go out and see this right away or just wait to watch it here. I mean, you can kind of like gauge where we're at as far as the numbers concerned.
Yeah,
But I mean, I look forward to the next experimental movie, whether it hits or whether it misses. I'm here willing to check it out. So
yeah. I don't know what else they can do at this point though. Like what else can be done?
I don't know. It's gonna be that person out there, that artist, that director, that screenwriter who goes out on a limb and like does something completely off the wall, and then we all go watch and go, "That movie sucked," and then
Well, I would venture to guess maybe they just donate a bunch of like Google glasses or the Apple glasses they call it that, I don't know, whatever, to a
yeah,
bunch of people, and then they edit that into a movie, and we'll see what happens. They're just like their daily
that's
lives.
actually a good
Yeah.
idea. Like I'm pretty sure someone's
Just
gonna do
edit that
that.
into a, or you could even like not just a bunch of random people, but even like people who know each other, like, maybe an office or like a place where people work together, give them all Google Glasses, they go about their day, and then that would you could actually edit that together to make somewhat of a cohesive movie, the different storylines.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean,
I don't know,
at some
man. I
point
mean,
or another, like
what's the frame rate on those glasses, Ray?
I don't know. Well, I mean, everyone has a phone. Literally
Well, that's true.
everybody. You could like mass edit a movie out of everyone's life if everyone was filming at the same
Just
frame rate, at the same just everyone walking around with the phone kind of attached to their chest, and they're just
oh yeah. Oh, I thought you meant like steal their photos and footage and
no,
stuff,
no, no.
like
Like
hack
my, it
them and
has to
like
be consensual that
splice
they're
it
actually
together.
filming and they're
Oh,
like a
okay.
part of this.
Oh, that'd be the ultimate experimental movie, like
Yeah, yeah. AI is gonna go and just wipe off everybody's like pictures and
yeah,
phones and stuff,
getting
and
everybody's most private of,
mass edit
moments.
pictures and videos together, like putting this body and this head together
Oh,
and stuff like that.
actually, that's probably now that you mentioned the dirty word, if you will, the AI, that's probably gonna be the next venture into experimental, like a movie completely made with AI. I know they've been talking about it. You see the videos of, like, the people like, the scenes of people, like, walking down the street and all that, and it's completely AI, so that's probably gonna be the next foray into, like, something experimental, but will it be any
It'll
good?
be very controversial
I don't know, man. Yeah, that's for sure.
unless
Um,
they get what's that new AI that super AI that just came out.
from China?
No, no, no. That other one, not Chat, that not GPT 4 or 5. It's like one just after that. That's like a bunch of like millions or trillions of like supercomputers together, or some shit like that. But
Oh, well,
anyways,
surely you must be referring to Grok.
yeah, I'm sure that's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
Anyways, that'll be it for us. We hope to see you on the next review, and hopefully we'll do Shakespeare shitstorm.
Oh, yeah. There you go. I need to watch it, man, this
You
week.
need to
It's
watch it. You need
happening.
to watch it.
Did you already see it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Soon.
I feel good then.
Yeah. Thank you, Uncle Lloyd, for giving us a gift in 2025.
Yeah,
And
man.
hopefully we'll
Oh,
get
my God.
release of the new Toxic Avenger too in theaters. In theaters.
Yep.
I will be there.
Yeah.
I will
That'd
be
be
there
awesome.
with my green popcorn. That'd be cool if they have buckets for that. That'd
I
be
wouldn't be
cool to
surprised if they do that. They do. It would be cool if they do Toxie's head or probably like a mop
yeah.
bucket or maybe like a straw looks like a mop or something. I don't
You know, it'd be
know. Who
hilarious
knows?
if, like, all the
The
popcorn
possibilities
buckets
are
are literally
endless.
just mop buckets that they put popcorn
Yeah,
in. Yeah.
the big yellow bucket. Just
Yeah. Yeah,
carry on.
you gotta pay, like, $75 for that thing. They just pour the whole bag of popcorn
Yeah,
in
it's,
there.
and the squeegee up top, like you pull that for like the butter, the butter comes out.
Oh, all the marketing that could be. Right, well, we'll see
Sure,
you next
man.
time. Thank you for watching.